Patricia Henderson was found floating face down in her pool at 7:32 a.m. Tuesday morning, June 14th. Bright sunny day, perfect weather. Her neighbor, Daniel Chen, saw her from his second-floor window, called 911. Paramedics arrived 8 minutes later. Too late. She'd been dead for hours. Since sometime around 2 a.m., the coroner estimated. Patricia Henderson, age 56, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, HOA, the most powerful person in our neighborhood of 240 homes. Also, the most hated. When news spread that Patricia was dead, the reaction wasn't grief, it was relief. Some people actually smiled. A few opened champagne. One neighbor, Margaret Sullivan, said out loud, "Thank God, finally," because Patricia Henderson had made our lives hell for 15 years. Every blade of grass too long? Fine, $200. Paint color not on the approved list? Fine, $500. Garbage cans visible from the street on non-collection days? Fine, $100. Car parked in driveway overnight? Fine, $300. She'd fine you for anything, everything. And if you didn't pay, she'd put a lien on your house, foreclose, take your home. She'd done it twice. 2 families lost their houses because they couldn't pay accumulated HOA fines. So when she turned up dead in her pool, everyone had the same thought: murder. Everyone had motive. Everyone had means. Everyone had opportunity. The police investigated, interviewed everyone, searched for evidence, found nothing. Because Patricia Henderson wasn't murdered. She had a heart attack, fell into her pool, drowned. Natural causes. Autopsy confirmed it. No foul play. Case closed. Except, the investigation uncovered something else. Something bigger, something that would destroy half the neighborhood. Patricia Henderson hadn't just been enforcing rules, she'd been breaking them, covering up violations, for money. She was a blackmailer, an extortionist, a tyrant who used HOA rules as weapons. And when she died, all her secrets came out. This is the story of what happened after the HOA president died. How her death revealed that everyone in Willow Creek was lying, cheating, breaking rules, paying bribes, and how, in the end, nothing changed. My name is Sarah Kim. I live at 42 Willow Creek Drive. I've been here 8 years. I hated Patricia. We all did. But I also paid her $5,000 to look the other way, just like everyone else. Willow Creek is a planned community, gated, 240 homes, built 20 years ago. Strict rules, architectural guidelines, 73 pages, everything regulated. House colors, only earth tones, beige, tan, light brown, gray. White trim only. Lawns, no longer than 3 inches. Mowed weekly, no weeds, no brown patches. Landscaping, approved plants only, native species, drought-resistant, no vegetable gardens visible from street. Vehicles, garage parked only, no RVs, no commercial vehicles, no visible repairs. Fences, maximum 4 feet. Approved materials, wood or vinyl, painted to match house. Pets, small dogs only, under 30 pounds. No pit bulls, no exotic animals. Rentals, prohibited. Owner-occupied only. Parties, noise ordinance after 10 p.m., no outdoor music, and hundreds more. Every aspect of life controlled, regulated, enforced by Patricia Henderson, HOA president, self-appointed dictator. She'd been elected president 15 years ago, ran unopposed every year after, because no one wanted the job. It was volunteer, unpaid, time-consuming. Patricia loved it, the power, the control, the fear. She'd walk the neighborhood daily, 7 a.m., Clipboard in hand, taking notes, looking for violations. Grass too long? Note. Car in driveway? Note. Garden gnome not on approved list? Note. She'd document everything. Then send violation letters, certified mail, demanding payment within 30 days. Most people paid. Easier than fighting. The fines were cheaper than lawyer fees. But some fought back, argued, went to HOA meetings, demanded hearings. Patricia crushed them. HOA board was 5 people. Patricia controlled 3 votes. She always won. And if you really pissed her off, she'd make your life hell. Constant inspections, weekly violations, escalating fines, until you moved, or paid, or broke. I moved to Willow Creek 8 years ago, after my divorce. Needed a fresh start. Smaller house, quiet neighborhood, safe. Willow Creek seemed perfect. Manicured lawns, friendly neighbors, good schools nearby. I bought 42 Willow Creek Drive, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beige exterior, white trim, exactly as required. Met Patricia my first week. She knocked on my door, clipboard in hand, smile that didn't reach her eyes. Welcome to Willow Creek. I'm Patricia Henderson, HOA president. Nice to meet you. I'm Sarah Kim. I wanted to go over the rules with you, make sure you understand our community standards. She handed me a binder, 73 pages, single-spaced. All of this? I asked. Every rule is important. Maintaining property values, aesthetic consistency. We take pride in Willow Creek. Okay, I'll read it. Also, your lawn needs mowing. It's currently 3.4 inches. Maximum is 3 inches. Please address that by Friday. I looked at my lawn. It looked fine. Perfect, actually. Is 3.4 inches really a problem? Her smile disappeared. The rules exist for a reason. Everyone follows them. That includes you. Of course, I'll mow it. Good. Welcome to the neighborhood. She left. I stood there holding the binder. 73 pages of rules. I should have moved then, broken the contract, lost my deposit. Would have saved me a lot of money and pain. The violations started immediately. Week 2. Garbage can visible from street. Tuesday afternoon. Collection was Wednesday. I'd put it out early. Fine, $100. Week 4. Car parked in driveway overnight. My car was in the shop. Rental car didn't fit in garage. Fine, $300. Week 6. Unapproved plant in garden. I'd planted lavender. Beautiful, drought-resistant, not on approved list. Fine, $200. I paid every fine, didn't argue, didn't want trouble. But other neighbors did argue. And that's when I learned Patricia's real power. There was a neighborhood meeting, month 3, HOA annual gathering, mandatory attendance. 200 people crammed into the community center. Patricia at the front, podium, PowerPoint presentation, budget review, rule updates. Boring, standard. Then came complaints. Daniel Chen stood. Patricia, I received 5 violations last month. Total fines, $1,200. My lawn was maintained. My house is compliant. This feels excessive. Patricia smiled, cold. Mr. Chen, the violations are documented. Photo evidence, dates, times. If you'd like to dispute them, you can request a hearing. The board will review. I'm requesting a hearing now. Formal written request required. Submit within 14 days. Daniel submitted the request. Hearing scheduled 4 weeks later. At the hearing, Patricia presented photos. Daniel's lawn, measuring 3.2 inches, violation. His car parked at an angle, half an inch over the driveway line, violation. His trash can placed 6 inches from the curb instead of 12 inches, violation. Absurd, petty, Technically correct. Board voted, 4-1. Fines upheld. Daniel paid. Then sold his house 6 months later. Moved away. Patricia won. She always won. But then people started discovering Patricia's secret. Not everyone followed the rules. Some people broke them, flagrantly. And Patricia knew, but she didn't find them. She made deals. Margaret Sullivan was the first to figure it out. Margaret lived at 87 Willow Creek Drive, 68 years old, retired schoolteacher, widow. Her husband died 10 years ago, cancer. She'd poured her grief into her garden, beautiful house, Victorian style, pale yellow, white trim, exactly as required. But the garden, oh, the garden, award-winning, featured in local magazines, garden club tours stopped at her house. Roses, every color, climbing trellises, filling beds, hundreds of bushes, hydrangeas, blue, pink, white, massive blooms, perfect spacing, topiaries, shaped like animals, swan, rabbit, bear, sculpted precisely, herb garden, lavender, rosemary, thyme, arranged in perfect spirals, too perfect, because Margaret had help, serious help. 3 men, Juan, Miguel, Carlos. They arrived every Tuesday, 6 a.m., big white truck, Martinez landscaping painted on the side. They worked all day, pruning, planting, weeding, trimming, watering. Margaret paid them cash, $300 per visit, $1,200 a month, $14,400 a year, cheap for the level of work. Professional landscapers charged triple. They were cheap because they were undocumented, no papers, no legal work permits, no business license. Margaret knew, didn't care. They did beautiful work. She could afford them. Everyone was happy. Except it was illegal. Hiring undocumented workers, federal crime, civil penalties, criminal prosecution possible, also against HOA rules. Commercial vehicles on residential streets required permits, pre-approval, insurance verification. Margaret had none of that. Patricia noticed. Of course she did. Patricia noticed everything. It was a Tuesday morning, early September, 3 years ago. The landscapers had just arrived, unloading equipment, mowers, trimmers, hedge clippers. Patricia walked up, clipboard, camera, smile. "Good morning, Margaret." Margaret was supervising from her porch, coffee in hand. "Morning, Patricia. Lovely day for gardening." "Indeed." Patricia approached the truck, looked at the men. They tensed, recognized authority, danger. "Margaret, are these men licensed contractors?" "They're landscapers, Martinez Landscaping." "I don't see a business license displayed. Commercial vehicles require permits to operate in Willow Creek." "I wasn't aware." "It's in the rules, Section 12, Commercial Activity Restrictions. I'll need to see their business license, insurance, permits." Margaret's stomach dropped. "They're just helping with the garden. Professionally, for payment. That's commercial activity." The men looked at Margaret, scared. They knew what this meant. Patricia smiled. "I'll need to speak with them, verify their credentials." "That's not necessary. HOA rules require it." Patricia turned to the men. "Gentlemen, do you have documentation? Business license? Work permits?" They didn't speak English well, but they understood. Permits, papers, documentation. Juan, the oldest, said quietly, "We go." They started packing up. Margaret panicked. "Wait, Patricia, can we discuss this privately?" Patricia looked at Margaret, considered. "Of course. Inside?" They went into Margaret's house. Kitchen, beautiful, granite counters, farmhouse sink. Margaret made tea, hands shaking. "Patricia, those men are good workers. They've been helping me for 2 years." "Without proper documentation." "I didn't know that was required." "Ignorance isn't an excuse." What happens now? Patricia sat down, sipped her tea. That depends. Technically, I should report this to the HOA board, to the city, possibly to immigration. Hiring undocumented workers is a federal crime. You could face fines, legal action. Margaret went pale. I didn't know they were undocumented. Doesn't matter legally. You're responsible for verifying. You didn't. That's liability. What should I do? Patricia considered, playing it, building tension. Well, there are options. Official route. I report this. You face consequences. Your landscapers get deported. Your garden suffers. You get fined by HOA. Maybe by the city. Could be $10,000. Maybe more. I can't afford that. I'm on a fixed income. I understand, which is why there's an unofficial route. What's that? I handle a lot of administrative work for the HOA. Volunteer, no salary, but expenses arise. Filing fees, office supplies. If you wanted to make a contribution to help cover those costs, I could overlook this violation permanently. Margaret understood immediately. Bribery, extortion, blackmail. How much? $5,000. One-time payment, cash. And your landscapers can continue working. I won't report them, won't file violations. Your garden stays beautiful. That's extortion. Patricia's smile disappeared. No, that's a generous offer. The alternative is $10,000 in fines, legal fees, losing your garden. Your choice. Margaret sat there, trapped. $5,000 was a lot, but $10,000 plus legal fees plus losing her garden? Impossible. I'll need time to get the cash. 2 weeks. After that, I file the report. Margaret got the money, withdrew it from savings, $5,000, cash. Met Patricia at her house, handed over an envelope. Patricia counted it, right there. No shame, no pretense. Thank you, Margaret. Your cooperation is appreciated. Your landscapers can continue. No one will bother them. And they didn't, for 3 years. Juan, Miguel, and Carlos came every Tuesday. Beautiful work. No violations, no fines. Because Patricia was paid to look the other way. Margaret wasn't the only one. The neighborhood had dozens of violations. Patricia found them all. Others discovered this too. Thomas Wright built an addition to his house. Sunroom. Beautiful. Expensive. Required HOA architectural approval, which required permits, inspections, engineering reports. Thomas skipped all of it. Built it himself. No permits, no inspections. Illegal. Dangerous. The structure wasn't properly supported. Would probably collapse within a year. Patricia noticed immediately. Documented it. Approached Thomas. Thomas, your sunroom. It wasn't approved. I thought it was minor. Minor? It's a structural addition. Requires permits, HOA approval, engineering certification. You have none of that. I can get them retroactively. No, you can't. The structure doesn't meet code. You'd have to tear it down, rebuild, cost you $50,000, maybe more. Thomas looked sick. He'd spent $30,000 on the sunroom, couldn't afford another $50,000. What do I do? Patricia considered. I could report this to the city, to the HOA board. You'd be forced to demolish. Or we could make an arrangement. What kind of arrangement? $10,000, cash. I'll file the paperwork showing the sunroom was approved retroactively. Grandfather it in. No one will question it. That's illegal. So is building without permits. Your choice. Thomas paid $10,000, cash. The sunroom stayed. Patricia filed fake approval documents, backdated them. Thomas's house would probably collapse eventually, but Patricia didn't care. she got paid. This was the pattern. Patricia found violations, offered to cover them up for money. Elena Rodriguez was renting her house on Airbnb. HOA rules prohibited short-term rentals, owner-occupied only. Patricia found out, demanded $7,000. Elena paid. David Park had 3 pit bulls. HOA rules, small dogs only. Under 30 pounds, no aggressive breeds. Patricia found out, demanded $8,000. David paid. Jennifer Martinez had solar panels, not on approved list. Patricia demanded $6,000. Jennifer paid. Patricia extorted everyone, collected hundreds of thousands, maybe millions over 15 years, built a fortune. Tax-free, unreported, and everyone who paid had to stay silent, because admitting they paid meant admitting they broke rules. Mutually assured destruction. I paid her too. Year 4. I started working from home, consulting, needed office space, converted my garage. Against HOA rules. Garages for vehicles only. No conversions without approval. Patricia noticed. Car parked in driveway regularly. Garage door always closed. She investigated. Found out. Approached me. Sarah, we need to discuss your garage. My stomach dropped. What about it? You've converted it. Office space. Violates HOA rules. Architectural changes require approval. You don't have approval. It's just a desk and computer. It's a structural conversion. Changes the property use. Residential to commercial. Against zoning, against HOA rules. What are my options? Demolish the office, restore the garage, pay the fines. Probably $15,000 total. Or contribute to my discretionary fund. $5,000, cash. I'll overlook this. Permanently. I paid. Hated myself, but paid. $5,000, cash. Handed it to her in an envelope. She smiled. Thank you for your cooperation. Your secret is safe. And it was. For 4 years. Until she died. That Tuesday morning, June 14th, Patricia Henderson drowned in her pool. Heart attack. Natural causes. Dead at 56. Police investigated initially. Murder suspected. Everyone had motive. But autopsy ruled it natural. Heart failure. She'd had undiagnosed coronary disease. Massive attack. Fell into pool. Drowned. Case closed. Funeral was the following Saturday. Sparsely attended. 40 people, maybe. Out of 240 households. No tears. Polite condolences to her husband, Richard. He looked relieved too. She'd been hell to live with. HOA board met the next week. Emergency session. Elect interim president. Plan for elections. But before elections could happen, the secrets started coming out. It started with Patricia's files. Richard Henderson, Patricia's widower. He was cleaning out her office. Found boxes, dozens of them. Files, documents, photos, recordings, evidence of every violation she'd covered up, every bribe she'd taken, every deal she'd made. Richard was shocked, horrified. His wife had been a criminal, extortionist, blackmailer. He considered burning the files, protecting her legacy, protecting the people she'd extorted. But he was angry too. She'd lied to him for 15 years, hidden money, built a secret fortune while he thought they were middle class. He wanted revenge, so he turned the files over to the police. Detective Lisa Martinez got the case, Financial Crimes Division. She reviewed the files, hundreds of violations, hundreds of payments, cash, undocumented. She opened an investigation, criminal, tax evasion at minimum, extortion probably, fraud definitely. But Patricia was dead, can't prosecute a corpse. So Detective Martinez focused on the people who paid. Each payment was technically a bribe, conspiracy to commit fraud, violation of zoning laws, building codes, tax codes. Everyone who paid Patricia was potentially guilty of crimes. Detective Martinez started interviewing people, one by one, confronting them with evidence. She came to me 3 weeks after Patricia's death, knocked on my door, Tuesday evening. Badge out. Sarah Kim? Yes. Detective Lisa Martinez, I need to ask you some questions about Patricia Henderson. My heart sank. What about her? May I come in? I let her in. We sat in my living room, the garage-converted office visible through the window. Ms. Kim, I'm investigating financial crimes involving Patricia Henderson, specifically unreported income, extortion. I found evidence you paid her $5,000, cash, 4 years ago. Can you explain that? I'd rather not. This is a criminal investigation. I can compel testimony. It would be easier if you cooperate voluntarily. I sighed. She was blackmailing me. About what? I told her. The garage conversion, the violation, the choice, fines or payment. I chose payment. Did you report this payment? As a deduction? Gift? Anything? No. That's tax fraud. Failure to report a financial transaction over $3,000. I didn't know. Ignorance isn't a defense. Am I being charged? Not yet, but I need you to provide a formal statement detailing the payment, the circumstances, everything. I did. Signed it. Felt sick. What happens now? I'm interviewing everyone who paid Patricia, compiling evidence. Once I have everything, I'll make recommendations to the district attorney about potential charges. For everyone? For everyone. She left. I sat there, terrified. If I got charged, I'd lose my job. Consulting requires credibility. Criminal record destroys that. I'd lose my house, legal fees, fines. I couldn't afford it. And I wasn't alone. Everyone who'd paid Patricia was in the same position. Detective Martinez interviewed 43 people over 6 weeks. Each one admitted paying Patricia. Each one provided statements. Each one confessed to breaking HOA rules, zoning violations, building code violations, tax fraud. The neighborhood was in chaos, panic, fear. Some people lawyered up immediately, refused to talk, pleaded the fifth. Others, like me, cooperated, hoped for leniency. A few tried to run, sold their houses fast, moved away. Didn't matter. Detective Martinez tracked them down. By mid-August, she had 43 statements, 43 confessions, 43 potential prosecutions. She compiled everything, presented it to the district attorney. Recommended charges: conspiracy to commit fraud, tax evasion, building code violations, zoning violations. Total potential fines over $2 million, collective, across all defendants. Prison time, unlikely for first offenders, but probation, community service, criminal records. The DA reviewed the case, considered the optics. 43 middle-class homeowners, white-collar crimes, no violence, no victims except the county treasury. Publicity would be bad, prosecuting suburban parents for garage conversions and undocumented gardeners. Plus, Patricia was the real criminal, and she was dead. The DA made a decision: offer everyone a deal, plea bargain, no jail time, pay restitution, agree to remediate violations. In exchange, misdemeanor charges, probation, no felonies. Most people took the deal, including me. I paid $15,000, restitution to the county, $5,000 for the unreported payment, $10,000 for the garage conversion. Plus, I had to restore the garage, remove the office, reinstall garage doors, make it compliant. Cost me another $10,000. Total, $25,000. Others paid more. Thomas Wright, the illegal sunroom, paid $50,000, then had to demolish the sunroom, another $30,000. Margaret Sullivan paid $30,000, plus her undocumented gardeners were deported. She lost her award-winning garden. David Park paid $40,000, had to rehome 2 of his pit bulls, kept only 1, under 30 pounds, compliant. Elena Rodriguez paid $25,000, had to stop renting on Airbnb, lost her side income. Everyone suffered, everyone paid. Everyone learned their lesson. Or so we thought. 3 months later, HOA elections. New president needed. Patricia's term was over, technically. 5 people ran, campaigned on platforms of reform, transparency, reasonable enforcement, no more tyranny, fair rules for everyone, common sense HOA. The favorite was Daniel Chen, the guy who'd fought Patricia years ago, lost, moved away. He'd moved back, wanted revenge, wanted to fix the HOA. He ran on abolishing petty rules, reducing fines, focusing on actual problems, safety, maintenance, not lawn length and paint colors. Everyone supported him. Finally, change. Finally, freedom from HOA tyranny. Election Day, November 5th. Turnout, 82%, highest ever. Results, Daniel Chen elected president. Landslide, 67% of the vote. Victory party. Celebration, champagne, hope. Daniel gave a speech. Thank you for your trust. I promise things will change. No more petty violations. No more absurd fines. We'll focus on what matters. Community, safety, neighbors helping neighbors. Applause, cheers. Daniel took office January 1st. His first act? Review all HOA rules. He proposed eliminating 50 rules, keeping only essential ones, safety, maintenance, basic aesthetics. Put it to a vote. HOA board meeting, public attendance. The vote failed, 3-2, against Daniel. Why? Because the other board members, elected alongside Daniel, wanted strict rules. They'd campaigned on reform, but once in power, they changed. Karen Matthews, new treasurer, said, "We can't eliminate lawn length rules. Property values depend on uniformity. We need standards." Tom Rodriguez, new secretary, agreed. Paint color restrictions maintain aesthetic consistency. Without them, chaos. Daniel argued, fought, lost. The board kept the rules, all 73 pages. Then they voted on enforcement. Karen proposed weekly inspections, stricter than Patricia's daily walks, systematic, documented. Tom proposed increasing fines, $200 for grass violations, $500 for paint violations, adjusted for inflation. Daniel voted against, lost again, 3-2. The new HOA was the same as the old HOA, different tyrant, same tyranny. By February, violations resumed. Karen Matthews walked the neighborhood, clipboard, camera, just like Patricia. First violation, my lawn. 3.1 inches, exceeded 3-inch maximum. Fine, $200. I paid. What choice did I have? Others got fined too. Margaret Sullivan, lawn again. Thomas Wright, car in driveway. David Park, fence too high by half an inch. Daniel protested. As president, he should have veto power. Board voted. Stripped his veto, 3-2. Daniel resigned 6 months later, disgusted, defeated. Karen Matthews became president, interim, then permanent after special election. She's worse than Patricia. More systematic, more rigid, more fines. And the cycle continues. I still live at 42 Willow Creek Drive. 8 years now. Can't afford to leave. Market crashed. My house is underwater. Worth less than I owe. I pay fines, follow rules, keep my head down. So does everyone else. Margaret's garden is gone. She's too afraid to replant anything not on the approved list. Thomas's sunroom is demolished. His house looks incomplete. Sad. David's pit bulls are gone. He has a Chihuahua now, 3 pounds, compliant, unhappy. Elena doesn't rent anymore, struggles financially, works 2 jobs. We all suffered. Patricia died. Her secrets came out. We paid the price, and nothing changed. The HOA still controls everything. The rules still govern our lives. The fines still accumulate. Different president, same prison. Last week, Karen Matthews approached me. Evening, I was watering my lawn, making sure it stayed exactly 3 inches. "Sarah, we need to talk." My stomach dropped. "About what?" "Your water usage. You've been watering every evening, against HOA rules. Watering schedule is Tuesday and Friday only. Today's Thursday." "It's drought-resistant landscaping. Needs minimal water." "Doesn't matter. Rules are rules. Fine, $300. I stared at her. "Are you serious?" She smiled. Patricia's smile. Cold, calculating. Unless what? "I handle a lot of administrative work for the HOA. Volunteer, but expenses arise. If you contribute to my discretionary fund, say $2,000, I could overlook this and future minor violations." History repeating. Patricia's ghost, living in Karen. The tyrant is dead. Long live the tyrant. I said, "Let me think about it." Karen said, "Don't think too long. Fines accumulate, 10% interest monthly." She walked away, clipboard in hand, camera ready, just like Patricia. And I stood there, hose in hand, watering my 3-inch lawn, wondering, if I pay Karen now, how long until someone else discovers her secrets? How long until another detective investigates? How long until another round of confessions? And when will it end? Or will it never end because HOAs don't die? Presidents die. Rules live forever. And someone always wants power. The end. Detective Martinez interviewed everyone systematically, one by one, building her case. She started with Margaret Sullivan, oldest victim, first payment. Margaret sat in her living room, detective across from her, recorder running. "Mrs. Sullivan, I need to ask about a payment you made to Patricia Henderson, $5,000, cash, 3 years ago." Margaret's hands trembled. "How did you find out?" Patricia kept detailed records, every payment, every violation covered up. "Your file is quite thorough." "I didn't want to pay her." "Then why did you?" Margaret explained. The landscapers, the undocumented workers, Patricia's threat, the choice, pay or face consequences. "Did you report this payment? On your taxes?" "No." "That's tax fraud." "I didn't know." "You knowingly paid a bribe to cover up hiring illegal workers. That's conspiracy, fraud, multiple crimes." Margaret started crying. "I'm 68 years old. I've never broken the law. She forced me." "She forced you to hire undocumented workers?" "No, but she forced me to pay." "How?" "She threatened to destroy my garden. It's all I have left. After my husband died, it's my life." Detective Martinez softened slightly. "Mrs. Sullivan, I understand, but the law is the law. You committed crimes, multiple crimes. I need you to provide a formal statement. Everything. The hire, the payment, all of it." Margaret did. Signed it. Felt like she'd signed her own prison sentence. "What happens now?" "I compile all the statements, present them to the DA, recommend charges." "Will I go to jail?" "Probably not. First offense, white-collar crime, but fines, probation, restitution. Your landscapers will be deported." Margaret's face crumpled. They have families. They're here illegally. That's not my jurisdiction. Immigration will handle it. I'm sorry, I should have checked their papers. Yes, you should have. Detective Martinez left. Margaret sat there, alone. Garden visible through the window. Beautiful. About to be destroyed. She cried for hours. Thomas Wright was next, the illegal sunroom. Detective Martinez arrived at his house, Tuesday afternoon. Thomas answered, saw the badge, knew immediately. Mr. Wright, Detective Martinez, I need to speak with you about Patricia Henderson. Come in. They sat in the living room, the sunroom visible through sliding doors. Beautiful. Glass walls, hardwood floor. Completely illegal. Nice sunroom. Thank you. When was it built? 5 years ago. Did you get permits? Thomas hesitated. No. HOA approval? No. Engineering certification? No. Why not? Thomas sighed. Permits cost money, take time. I wanted to do it myself, save money. And Patricia found out. Yes. What did she say? Thomas told her, the threat, the demolition order, the choice, tear it down or pay $10,000. You paid? Yes. Cash? Yes. Did you report it? No. That's tax fraud. Also, this structure is illegal, unsafe. City inspectors should have reviewed it. You bypassed that. Put yourself and neighbors at risk. It's safe. Is it? Has it been inspected? I built it myself. I know construction. Are you a licensed contractor? No. Licensed engineer? No. Then you don't know if it's safe. This structure could collapse, injure someone. You're liable. Thomas went pale. He'd never considered that. Detective Martinez pulled out photos, Patricia's files, detailed shots of the sunroom, foundation, support beams, roof. Look at these. Your support beams are undersized. Spacing is wrong. The roof load isn't properly distributed. An engineer could tell you this structure won't last. Maybe a year, maybe 5, but eventually it'll fail. You're saying I have to tear it down? I'm saying the city will make you. Once I report this, and you'll face fines for building without permits. Could be $50,000 plus demolition costs. Thomas felt sick. He'd spent $30,000 building it. Now $50,000 in fines plus demolition? I can't afford that. Should have thought of that before you built illegally. Patricia said she'd cover it up. Patricia's dead. Her promises mean nothing. The violation still exists. Thomas signed a statement, confessing everything. Detective Martinez left. Thomas sat in his illegal sunroom. Beautiful, expensive, about to be demolished. He'd paid Patricia $10,000 to save it. Now it would cost him $80,000 total to destroy it. Patricia had scammed him, took his money, gave him nothing. He hated her more dead than alive. Elena Rodriguez, the Airbnb rental. Detective Martinez arrived Thursday morning. Elena was home, working remotely, graphic designer. She saw the detective, tried to act normal. Can I help you? Detective Martinez, I need to ask about Patricia Henderson. Elena's stomach dropped. What about her? You were renting this property on Airbnb, correct? How did you? Patricia documented it. Photos, booking records, screenshots, very thorough. Elena sagged. Yes, I was renting it. HOA rules prohibit short-term rentals. I know. Then why? I needed the money. My job doesn't pay enough. Mortgage is expensive. Airbnb helped cover costs. How much did you make? About $3,000 a month. For how long? 2 years. $72,000. Did you report that income? Elena went pale. She hadn't. It was cash mostly. She'd never filed it. No. Tax evasion, 72,000 unreported. That's a felony. I didn't know. You knowingly rented property against HOA rules, knew it was commercial activity, required business license. You had none of that. You knew it was illegal. Patricia said she'd look the other way if I paid her. You paid her $7,000, correct? Yes. One time? No. 7,000 total, over 2 years. Installments. She kept raising it. First it was 2,000, then 3,000, then more. Escalating extortion. Yes. But you kept paying and kept renting. I had no choice. I needed the money. You had a choice. Stop renting. Follow the rules. Then I'd lose my house. Couldn't make mortgage payments. That's not Patricia's fault. That's yours. Elena started crying. I was trying to survive by breaking the law, multiple laws. Now you'll face consequences. Elena signed a statement. Detective Martinez left. Elena sat there, realizing the Airbnb income was gone. Patricia was dead. Payments stopped, but the mortgage remained. She couldn't afford it. She'd have to sell, move, start over. Patricia had trapped her. Dead, but still destroying lives. David Park, The Pit Bulls. Detective Martinez came Friday afternoon. David was in his backyard with his dogs. 3 pit bulls, massive, muscular, trained, protective, against HOA rules. Dogs over 30 pounds prohibited. Pit bulls specifically banned. Detective knocked. David answered, saw the badge. Let me guess, Patricia. Yes, the dogs. They're not allowed. I know. Then why? Protection. I live alone, single, work nights, security guard. House is empty. I wanted protection. HOA rules. I know the rules. Patricia knew about the dogs. She approved it. For $8,000. David's jaw clenched. She told you. She documented everything. I paid her to let me keep them. She agreed. She extorted you, and you violated HOA rules, kept illegal animals. They're not illegal. Pit bulls are legal in this county. But not in Willow Creek. HOA rules supersede county laws on private property. That's absurd. That's the rules you agreed to when you bought here. David gestured to his dogs. These dogs protect my house. They've stopped 2 break-ins, scared off intruders. They're valuable. They're also dangerous. Pit bulls are statistically more likely to attack. If one of your dogs bites a neighbor, they're trained. They won't. You can't guarantee that. One incident, one bite, you're liable, could lose everything. David knew she was right. He'd trained them well, but animals are unpredictable. What do you want from me? A statement about the payment, the dogs, everything. David gave it, signed it. What happens to my dogs? That's between you and the HOA, but if I were you, I'd rehome them before the new HOA board forces you. Detective Martinez left. David looked at his dogs. Kaiser, Bruno, Thor. He'd raised them from puppies, loved them. They were family. Now he'd have to give them up because of HOA rules, because of Patricia. He hated her. But she was already dead, so he hated the HOA, the rules, the system. But hatred didn't change anything. By mid-August, Detective Martinez had 43 statements, 43 confessions. She compiled them, created a massive report, evidence, documents, photos, audio recordings, presented it all to the district attorney, recommended charges for everyone. The DA reviewed it, took 3 weeks, finally made a decision. Offer plea deals, everyone, no exceptions. Pay restitution, fix violations, plead guilty to misdemeanors, probation, no jail time. Take the deal or face trial. Felony charges, possible prison, legal fees, ruin. Everyone took the deal. September 15th, HOA emergency meeting, community center, mandatory attendance. 200 people showed up, almost everyone. Detective Martinez was there, DA representative, county building inspector, immigration officials. This wasn't just an HOA meeting. This was a reckoning. The DA representative spoke first. Good evening. I'm Assistant DA Jennifer Park. I'm here to discuss the investigation into Patricia Henderson's activities and the violations discovered. Silence. People shifted uncomfortably. Patricia Henderson engaged in systematic extortion over 15 years. She collected approximately $800,000 from residents of this community in exchange for covering up violations of HOA rules, zoning laws, building codes. Murmurs. People looked at each other. Everyone knew. But hearing it publicly? Different. We've identified 43 individuals who paid Patricia. We've offered all of them plea deals. Most have accepted. Those who haven't will face trial. She read names, one by one. Margaret Sullivan, Thomas Wright, Elena Rodriguez, David Park, Sarah Kim. 43 names, 43 families exposed. Some people looked relieved, glad it was over. Others looked ashamed. Public humiliation. A few looked angry, at Patricia, at the system, at themselves. Jennifer continued. Additionally, the building inspector has identified multiple code violations. Structures built without permits, unsafe conditions. Demolition orders have been issued for 12 properties. Gasps. 12 families, losing additions, sunrooms, garages, structures they'd paid thousands to build. Immigration services have identified 15 undocumented workers employed by residents. Deportation proceedings have begun. More gasps. Margaret Sullivan sobbed audibly. Her landscapers, Juan, Miguel, Carlos, gone. Jennifer concluded. This community built on violations, on bribes, on corruption. Patricia enabled it, profited from it. You all participated. Now you'll all face consequences. Meeting adjourned. She left. DA officials left. Building inspectors left. Immigration officials left, leaving 200 guilty neighbors staring at each other, realizing everyone broke rules. Everyone paid bribes. Everyone was complicit. The perfect neighborhood, built on lies. Demolitions started in October. Thomas Wright's sunroom, torn down, $30,000 wasted, plus $50,000 in fines and fees. His backyard looked empty, incomplete. He couldn't afford to rebuild legally, so it stayed empty. He moved away 6 months later, sold at a loss, couldn't stand looking at the empty space. Jennifer Martinez's solar panels, removed. 20,000 installation, wasted. She'd wanted to save money on electricity. Now she paid more, plus fines. 3 other structures demolished: gazebos, storage sheds, guest houses, all built illegally, all destroyed. Deportations happened quietly. Undocumented workers, 15 of them, gone overnight. Margaret's landscapers, deported first. They'd been here 12 years, had families, kids in school, now gone. Back to Mexico, starting over. Because they worked for cash, for Americans who didn't check papers. Margaret's garden deteriorated rapidly. She couldn't maintain it herself. Too old, too heartbroken. Within a year, the award-winning garden was overgrown. Weeds, dead roses, neglected. Airbnb rentals stopped. Elena lost her side income. Couldn't afford mortgage payments. Foreclosed. Bank took her house. She moved to an apartment. Smaller, cheaper, further away. David rehomed 2 pit bulls, kept the smallest, 28 pounds. Technically compliant, but he felt unsafe. His house was broken into twice after. Dogs gone. Protection gone. He installed security cameras, alarms, spent thousands, wished he'd kept his dogs. Everyone suffered. Everyone paid. Everyone lost. Patricia was dead, but her victims were still being punished. 3 months later, November, HOA elections. The scandal had died down. People moved on, or tried to. 43 families paid their fines, fixed their violations, accepted probation. Some moved away, couldn't handle the shame, the judgment, the whispers, but most stayed. Where else would they go? Moving costs money. Market was bad. They were trapped, so they stayed and pretended everything was normal. The HOA needed a new president. Patricia's term was over, expired when she died. 5 candidates ran. Daniel Chen, the guy Patricia had crushed years ago. He'd moved away, humiliated, broke. Now he was back. Revenge motivated him. He'd spent 7 years in another state, made money, software company, sold it, came back wealthy, bought his old house back. From the people who'd bought it from him, paid cash, didn't need a mortgage, didn't need anything from anyone. He ran for HOA president on a platform of reform. No more tyranny, no more petty rules. Patricia Henderson destroyed this community with her obsession for control. I'll dismantle that system, restore freedom, let people live their lives. His campaign slogan? Common Sense HOA. Lawn signs everywhere. Blue, white, bold letters. Professional campaign. He knocked on every door, spoke to every household, listened to complaints, promised change. People loved him. Finally, someone who understood. Someone who'd suffered under Patricia's regime. Someone who'd fight back. Karen Matthews ran against him. 49 years old, accountant, meticulous, detail-oriented, anal retentive. She'd been on the HOA board for 5 years. Treasurer, managed the budget, enforced rules, loved rules. Her campaign platform, maintaining standards. She argued, Patricia Henderson was flawed, but the rules she enforced were necessary. Property values depend on consistency, aesthetic standards. Without rules, chaos ensues. Home values plummet. Our investments disappear. Her lawn signs, red, white, professional. Maintain our values. She campaigned differently than Daniel. Didn't knock on doors. Instead, sent mailers. Professional, glossy, statistics, charts, graphs, showing property values in Willow Creek versus nearby communities. Willow Creek, up 12% over 10 years. Others, down 5%. Correlation. Strict HOA rules maintain property values. Her message resonated with some people. Investors, retirees, people planning to sell. They wanted high property values. Rules ensured that. 3 other candidates ran. Minor campaigns. No real chance. Tom Rodriguez, 35, teacher, ran on family-friendly HOA. Wanted playgrounds, community events, less enforcement. Melissa Johnson, 52, lawyer, ran on legal compliance, wanted to review every rule, ensure everything was legally sound, prevent lawsuits. Robert Kim, 61, retired engineer, ran on infrastructure focus, wanted to fix roads, drainage, stop worrying about lawn length. Good ideas, but no name recognition, no campaign funding, no chance. Election Day, November 5th, Tuesday. Polling station, community center. Turnout, 82%, highest ever. Everyone voted. Everyone cared. This election would determine the future of Willow Creek. Freedom or control, reform or rigidity. Results came in at 9 p.m. Daniel Chen, 67%. Karen Matthews, 28%. Others, 5% combined. Landslide, crushing victory. Daniel won. People celebrated, champagne, parties, hope. Finally change. Finally freedom from tyrannical HOA. Daniel gave a victory speech, community center, packed room, 200 people. Thank you all for your trust. For 7 years I've waited for this moment, to come back, to fix what Patricia Henderson broke. She ruled with fear, with petty enforcement, with corruption. That ends today. I promise, things will change. We'll eliminate absurd rules, reduce fines, focus on what matters. Safety, maintenance, community, not lawn length, not paint colors. We'll be neighbors again, not subjects of a dictator. Applause, cheers, people cried, relief, joy. Daniel's first day as president, January 1st. January 15th, first HOA board meeting under Daniel's presidency. He'd been planning this for months, prepared, had a list of rules to eliminate, 50 rules. Petty, absurd, unnecessary. Grass length restrictions, eliminate. People can mow when they want. Paint color restrictions, eliminate. People can paint their houses however they like. Vehicle parking rules, eliminate. Park in your driveway, your property, your choice. Fence restrictions, eliminate. Build whatever fence you want. Pet restrictions, eliminate. Have whatever pets you want. Rental restrictions, keep. Safety issue, background checks, reasonable. 50 rules, gone. Freedom restored. He presented this to the board. Motion to vote. The board, 5 people total. Daniel, Karen Matthews, Tom Rodriguez, Melissa Johnson, Robert Kim. Daniel assumed he'd have support. Tom ran on family-friendly, would support reducing rules. Melissa on legal compliance, would support eliminating legally questionable rules. Robert on infrastructure, wouldn't care about lawns. He was wrong. Karen spoke first. Daniel, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but eliminating 50 rules at once is reckless. Property values depend on aesthetic consistency. We can't just let people do whatever they want. Tom agreed. I support reducing some rules, but not eliminating them entirely. Grass length matters. Nobody wants to live next to a house with 2-foot-tall grass. That's a rodent hazard, Melissa added. Some of these rules exist for liability reasons. Pet restrictions. If someone has a dangerous dog, it attacks a neighbor. The HOA is liable. We can't eliminate protections, Robert said. I agree with infrastructure focus, but roads require funding. We fund roads through HOA fees. Fees are tied to home values. Home values are tied to aesthetics. We can't abandon standards. Daniel stared at them. You all ran on reform, Karen said. I ran on maintaining standards. I never promised reform, Tom said. I ran on family-friendly. That means safe. Rules ensure safety, Melissa said. I ran on legal compliance. Some rules are legally required. We can't eliminate those, Robert said. I ran on infrastructure. That requires money. Money comes from high property values. Values require rules. Daniel realized he'd been outmaneuvered. The other 4 board members didn't want reform. They wanted control. Different control than Patricia, but control nonetheless. He called for a vote. Motion to eliminate 50 rules. Daniel voted yes. Karen, Tom, Melissa, Robert voted no. 4-1. Motion failed. Daniel tried again. Smaller changes. Reduce fines. 10 rules instead of 50. Same result. 4-1. Defeated. Every reform he proposed, voted down. The board kept the rules, all 73 pages, kept the fines, increased some, adjusted for inflation. By March, Daniel resigned, disgusted, betrayed, defeated. He'd won the election, landslide, 67%, but he had no power. Board votes controlled everything, and the board wanted rules. Karen Matthews became interim president, then ran in special elections 6 months later. Her campaign? Proven leadership, maintained standards. She won, 55%. Daniel didn't run again. Neither did the reformers. People accepted it, tired of fighting. Rules would stay. Tyranny would continue. Karen was worse than Patricia in some ways, more systematic, less personal. Patricia played favorites, took bribes, covered things up. Karen played no favorites, enforced everything, equally, rigidly. Your grass is 3.1 inches? Fine. $200. No exceptions. No deals. Your car is in the driveway overnight? Fine. $300. No excuses. Your fence is 6 inches too high? Fine. $500. Tear it down. Patricia was corrupt, but flexible. You could negotiate, pay her off, get exceptions. Karen was incorruptible, but inflexible. No negotiations, no exceptions. Rules applied to everyone, equally, mercilessly. In some ways, it was fairer. Everyone suffered equally. In other ways, it was worse. Because at least with Patricia, you had options. Pay bribes, get exemptions. With Karen, no options, only compliance, or fines. I still live at 42 Willow Creek Drive, year 12 now. Can't afford to leave. Underwater on my mortgage. House worth less than I owe. Market crashed. Stuck. I follow every rule, obsessively. Mow my lawn twice a week. Keep it exactly 3 inches, measured. Park my car in the garage, always, even when I'm loading groceries. Bring car in immediately. No decorations without approval. Nothing visible from street. I live in fear of violations, of fines, of Karen's inspections. Last month, she fined me $300. Why? My mailbox. It's white. Always been white. HOA rules say mailboxes must match house color. My house is beige. Mailbox should be beige. Patricia never enforced this. For 12 years, white mailbox, no problem. Karen noticed first week as president, documented it, sent violation notice. I asked for exception, grandfathered in. Mailbox predates enforcement. Request denied. Rules are rules. Paint it beige or pay fine. I paid someone to paint it. $150, professional, exact match to house color, cheaper than the fine, easier than fighting. That's life in Willow Creek now, compliance or consequences. Last week, Karen Matthews approached me. Evening, I was checking my mailbox. Beige now, compliant. Sarah, I turned. Karen, clipboard, camera, always. Hi, Karen. I noticed your lawn sprinkler running yesterday, Thursday. Watering schedule is Tuesday and Friday only. My heart sank. It was a mistake, timer malfunction. Doesn't matter, violation, fine, $300. For a timer malfunction? Rules don't account for accidents, only compliance. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I'll pay it, Karen smiled. Patricia's smile, cold, satisfied. Unless, I froze. Unless what? I've been considering expanding HOA services. Community outreach, charity work, requires funding. If you wanted to contribute, say, $2,000 to the HOA discretionary fund, I could overlook minor violations, future ones, give you some flexibility. History repeating. Patricia's ghost. Living in Karen now. The tyrant is dead. Long live the tyrant. I looked at her, realized. The system doesn't change. People change. But the system stays. Patricia created it. Karen inherited it. Someone after Karen will continue it. because power corrupts, and HOAs are power. Unchecked, unregulated, absolute. I'll think about it, I said. Karen said, don't think too long. Fines accumulate. 10% interest monthly. She walked away, just like Patricia. And I stood there, beige mailbox, 3-inch lawn, garage parked car, perfect compliance, perfect prison, wondering, if I pay Karen now, how long until she's caught? How long until another investigation? How long until another round of confessions? Fines? Shame? And will it ever end? Or is this just how HOAs work? Forever. Tyranny wearing the mask of community standards. Control disguised as property values. I don't know. But I do know this. I'm trapped. We all are. The HOA owns us, more than we own our homes. Patricia Henderson understood that, used it, profited from it. Karen Matthews understands it too, uses it differently. Same result. And someday, when Karen dies or resigns, someone else will take over, and the cycle will continue. Because the tyrant may die, but tyranny lives forever.